let's start it from where we have left. So where we were, let me go through this point. So we were designing the business structure, if I'm right. And in the business structure, we discuss company, region, cost centers, and we discuss as much at currency. So cost center tell that we have considered. Let me open up the system. I hope so the system might not be changed. Otherwise, that will create. Meanwhile, we can recap our last activity. So we have started our business structure. And before that, we discuss in a very detailed way the workday structure. And in parallel, we design our workday structure. In workday structure, we discuss reorganization, supervisory organization, company, regions. We have defined one region as well, and we defined the cost center as well, and we defined the locations as well. For division, we escaped it, and if you wanted to define that divisions, you can define it for yourself. So, this structure perspective, we have completed the workday design in not only on the document, but also we have completed in the system. Any question or any point until the system is available? Any question from the structure perspective? No, we are good to go. That's great. And system is changed. I think nobody has practice as well.
Yeah, so since 4 days, actually, I'm not seeing because whatever the upsets I have created for 4 days back, I see those all the organizations, company, hierarchy and everything, but the system is available from today.
Luckily, I started to create it only because last 4 days system is not working.
But you're right. Let's see that has been available because stable tenant is very important because we want to perform all of these activities on setup. Otherwise, that will create a mess for us.
So meanwhile, right, while they're checking on your tenant. So I have a question actually. Suppose, right, when any of the organization is migrating from their existing, either Oracle or any SAP from their financial structure to another, right? I mean, finance to from their current ERP product to the Workday. So,
Yes.
so they will be, the HCM, finance, everything will be. Suppose one organization is actually, suppose I'm working for a project on the Workday, so that has been migrated from their existing SAP, Oracle, or whatever, right? Whatever the ERP it has migrated. So all the payroll, HCM, leave approvals and everything. So they will also be migrated to the Workday, right? During that time, suppose I will have my reportees or I will be reporting to my manager. So when I apply a leave, right? So the Workday will be provided any portal to along the migration of the product migration from existing to the Workday, right? So Workday will provided any portal to apply the leaves and approval process. All those that will also be changed because currently if they have used some ADP or any other portal, right, to apply the leaves and get the approvals and any expenses, the reimbursement if I'm traveling to some other the business purpose to this California, or, once I come back, so I'll need to apply all the my expenses of the rental or my flight and everything, right? So how it is going to, because I just want to correlate with my Workday product actually. I mean, is this something the Workday will provide any portal for that?
Okay,
I mean,
your question, if I clearly understand, that you're saying that will they provide any portal?
right. These absent management, the leave and approval process, something like that, right? Because the
Okay,
completely.
yeah, if this depends again the agreement, the contract, Workday. Okay. For example, I am a client, I have Workday, and there is an implementer. So Workday definitely provide those tenants if it is a new implementation, because this is okay. So if it is a new implementation, obviously that Workday provide those tenants for migration activities, for production activities, dependency. But if something that is exceptional means that is not a new implementation, and this is something that you wanted to have a changeover. Changeover means that, for example, already there is a finance application is running up, there is HCM is there that is running up in the Workday application, but now you wanted to have absence management or you want to have time tracking with a new model that you wanted to have it. Now again, if you have your own tenant, like implementation tenant, like sandbox preview tenant, then it's up to you that either you are maintaining already one cost, then You never ask other tenants again from the Workday new tenant other than these because Workday will charge you for any services, whatever in the shape of tenant access, whatever in shape of any support, they charge you accordingly. So if you will manage this stuff within the Workday, obviously they will not charge. And that is your requirement. So you will manage this migration within this tenant and conclude your configuration or complete your migration or the configuration that you have it. So that again, I would say that depends on your implementations methodology. And here the key role of these activities would be your project manager, your change manager, or your testing manager, or your migration manager. Now that would be one person could be for all of these roles. So he has to manage all of these areas. Project wise, you need to implement change management perspective. It is an enhancement, then obviously you would add up those. Testing manager maximize or utilize these areas that all the areas should be completely tested. Migration perspective, they will make sure that from any system, either Oracle stack or whatever it could be, that you are shifting from another system, they will make sure that all the data should be migrated as well. Okay. So currently, what that job and right now I'm doing for one organization, I am holding all of these roles and I'm performing these things and I'm managing these things, all the stuff there. So it depends that if a different person would be there, that would be easy. A different implementation system would be there, that would be easy. If it is really if it would be a specific one, then Workday it is a new implementation, and obviously they will charge those tenants because already they are charging these two tenants. So why you are taking other tenants to come into your implementation picture, and then they will charge you separately. So again, this is your business or your implementation manager or the project manager or your organization POCs or what you can say is your executive who decided that either they need to have a new system, old system, or how they will migrate it.
Okay. So if this is the old system, we will need to integrate with our Workday. If it is the new system, we will be getting the new tenant where we can apply the leaves and we can get the approval from our manager.
Yes.
So the view will be the view will be remain the same. Whatever we are actually logging into the tenant and we are. So we have to the view will be the same, right? Once we get employed into the organization, we will log into the tenant and we will apply the leave and our manager will be approved. The process will be the same.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And also the expense, coming back with the question. So the HCM and the finance, the expense, submissions and for the reimbursement, everything remains the same for the same tenant. The view will be the same. Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you.
So we were discussing last time. I need to check now. TX group. Yeah, we designed this TX, and these are the TX Twitter, TX space that is there. So that is there. Okay, fine, got it. So where we were. So we have defined the cost centers. I think that cost center we haven't defined it yet. Regions we have defined, I think. So this top one. Okay, so here we have the region as well. So we will mark that what we did so that it would be easy to track. Yeah. Two regions, New York and WDC TX, we have defined. And we haven't defined the cost centers. Let's define cost center. For the cost center perspective, cost centers in my company, like if I go back at the top, and here we discuss where we are. When there is a gap in the training that to have the same pay stat could be challenged. Okay, so this one is that we have defined regions and departments that, for example, we have 4 departments. Department is equal to my cost centers. So here the cost center that we have it. Okay, so the cost center, let's define this cost center. Create cost centers.
Yes.
So here we need to give the TX group as my reorg that we are going to define our first cost center. So here the cost center name is TX Finance. Code is TXF. If I wanted to include into my code, that is okay. If not that, If it is will check, that is mandatory. If it is not checked, that it will not part of my cost center name. Now visibility is everyone. Subtype we have selected cost center. Now here the restricted to companies. If I want to restricted this cost center to any specific company, then I can have it. So here my company is TX, Twitter, Consultancy, Xbase, and Group. So this is the hierarchy and the three companies that I have built it up. So here the Xbase consultancy is there. Okay. So here Xbase that we can have it now. So it's up to me that I can restrict to number of hierarchies and companies as per my business requirement. So right now I have restricted to TX Xbase US company that is there. Okay. Now there are a couple of other areas, that is role, security group additionals. We will discuss this in a later on, this securities and roles. Then we have related work tag. What is a related work tag? We will discuss this point as well. We have dedicated session on this related work tag. The first cost center we have created. Let's create another cost center. And that cost center would be my second cost center. And here, the second cost center would be my TX information technology. IF, same way. Center, everyone. I want to do it restricted to get space. I'm not assigning anything, no related work tags, which is normally if you have financial transaction, that is mandatory, but we will see this point in a later stage how that we can set it up. So the two cost center I have defined, and there is a third cost center that we need to have it, and then I think three cost center are more than enough for our structure. Here we just set it up DX human resource. And let me have it procurement because I need procurement in financial activities. So TX procurement, TXP, same way. Done. Now my three cost center has been created. And if I check their org structure, organization and view org as of chart, that is right now is standalone. So we need to build it up this hierarchy. So first we need to build up the hierarchy here, and then we will assign the same way that we did with the regions. Create cost center hierarchy, and here I would call my TX group organization, click OK. Now here my hierarchy is TXCC cost hierarchy. Code is TXCC, and this is again my cost center hierarchy. Visibility everyone. Now here there is no restricted to the company directly, only the assignment role. Why is it so? Because this is not for the transactional purpose, this is for the reporting part. So that's why no work tag is here. Simply we have created our hierarchy now. Now I want to assign my three cost center under this hierarchy. Again, the similar way we did in the regions. Go to reorganization and assign included organization. Again, it asks me the TX group reorganization, and here I would call TX and all the finance that is come under this hierarchy. So now I can check it has been assigned. Go to organizations and view org chart as well. Click OK. And here the three is my three subordinate or three layers in this hierarchy. Three organizations are here: finance, information, and procurement. All of them are the cost centers. Now, if I go back and here, so I've included my cost centers as well. And it is now IT, finance, and procurement. So three cost centers that is under one hierarchy that has been built it up now. Any question at this point? No. No question? Now here we have completed our structure now. Okay. Where we have company, we have regions, we have cost center, we have supervisory organizations. So if I go back once again, here all the types of organization we have completed now. Now we have supervisory organization, we have company, regions, and cost center. But here the question is that company don't know how many cost center they have it. The company don't know how many regions they have it. Company only knows that supervisory organization don't know how many companies they have it, or supervisory organization holds only the location information because we have attached the location with the supervisory organization. But for every organization, whenever we define it, a reorganization was there. If you remember, that reorganization system asks whenever we define any organization. So if I open up my reorganization here, type reorganization and click on this one, and then I can find it from here, TX group, click filter, and if I click over here, so here when we define this reorganization, these those two tab were blank, but now here by activity 20 items have been added, and by organizations there are 41 items have been added now, because whenever we define, so latest in currently we have defined organization hierarchy, and we have include these two organization, that is procurement, information technology, and that is there. So whatever activity we perform it or add it or delete it, system required the reorganization and make a log in between this by organization and by activity. Organization will give me all the organization details that we defined it earlier. So here, if you want to view that structure within that reorganization, so you can view it here. So we defined consultancy company last time, and here we have these three company and the company hierarchy that we built it up. TX Finance Cost Center, we built it up, and then we built it up the supervisory organization as well. That is there. So this basically already organization affected means that has been defined or created or updated. Here you can see system is creating a log with the name of the person, that is WD Brad, with the name of Tom Brady, define at what time, at what date, what time, even seconds or milliseconds they have recorded in the system. This is a complete log and maintained in the system whenever you perform any activity with respect of organization. If you want to look into system, create a log. So mistakenly if you delete something and your manager will ask that this organization was not there, earlier it was, so you say that I didn't do anything, someone makes this change. So someone name, either you are or either someone who did this activity, either create, update, or delete, system will create a log from here. Whosoever did this activity, name and time, date with dates, timestamp is there, it's coming out. Nobody denied it because this is predefined application feature. They record each and everything for the organization side. With the transaction side, I will let you know later on. And if the activity would be at which activity that I did perform at which date and time, that's here by activity wise. This has been there. Clear? So point is that you can view whenever we define the reorganization, we basically call our reorganization. Sorry, whenever we define organizations, we basically call reorganization to create it. Now, question is that we under reorganization, all the hierarchy is there, all the structure is there, but supervisory organization don't know which company they are working in, company don't know which cost center they are linked with. We just define within the organization hierarchy cost center with 3 cost center, regions with 2 regions, company 3 companies. We define 2 regions and 3 cost centers again. And here for supervisory organization, we define 1 supervisory organization and 1 location as well. But these are all items are not being correlated. That's the question. How we can link with these things with each other? That is a question, because that is right now standalone. I wanted to check which organization is linked with which company. For that point, we will go through our supervisory organizations. We will go through with our supervisory organization, and our supervisory organization was that TX sub org. I think that was there. TX sub org. Yeah, this one is the supervisory organization. GTX group sub org, that is there. When open up this supervisory organization, this name is looks very weird. So I can change this name in a proper format. Normally, naming point as that should be in a proper organization manner. That should be nomenclature. That should be in a proper way. So here I remove this code now because this code is creating a tag from here. Just to, it's if you wanted to have. So TX group supervisory organization, that is there. Now it looks much better way now, but again, this group is coming. Anyhow, no problem. Now, how I wanted to assign my company and the organization. So here we have organization assignments. And here you can see that in the under organization assignments, we have company, cost center, region, divisions. That is all blank because that is not been attached with anyone. So let's attach with my company, with my TX group. Okay, so here you will click over related action button. Here we have supervisory organization, and the third option is added supervisory organization. Now I'm not changing the name, I'm not changing the assignments. So here, if I go down, so here our organization assignments has been appear up now. Company. So here I'm calling my company TX, all the company, select all. And here the default company that would be we will use. Here in the default companies, hierarchy has not been appear up here in the default organizations. Only the organization are coming. Where here we have allowed organization have hierarchy as well as organization. Similarly in cost center. So here all the cost center that would be selected along with the hierarchy, and the default one is my finance one. Third one, if I go down,
Why do we
my
put a
regions.
default organization over there?
Okay, just give me 1 minute. I will explain this part. Let me assign. Here, default basically assignment is that whenever I open up any transaction, the multiple options are there. One will be automatically defaulted. For the transaction purpose or transaction control perspective, I don't want that the field should be blank. Someone missed it. So that default should be there. One default along with multiple that should be coming up. So this is their division. I haven't defined any division, so you can define your division if you want to, and then you can assign it. So organization perspective, I have assigned the organization and I will click OK. And here, if I go to the organization now here my company, all the structures on a one page with the organization perspective. My main organization is supervisory organization. Under that, other organizations are been coming up now. Company, cost center, and regions. Any question till now?
One question actually. So the activities, right? The activity logs we were seeing under the parent, the most parent reorganization. So now, if I want to see the organization level, like cost center level, at company level, or region level, can we see rather than going, because if I go to the reorganization logs, it will be like use all org related. So I just want to see the only region organization related or cost center related. Can we?
Yes,
Do we
yes,
have an
we will
option?
have it. Yes,
Okay,
we
okay,
will have it when
okay.
we perform any transaction. Now, all the organization perspective, if you want to see the control, that is reorganization. Okay. But if you wanted to see any activity like who created this invoice, who has created or approved this under cost center manager, which cost center manager has approved it, and which regional manager has rejected, all the logs will be maintained on the transaction level. That we will see. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Not now, but we will see. Definitely, I will show you. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. There is
Yes.
another point that is, again, I'm keep it open. The roles and the security group. These are the two another major important points that I'm keep it open right now and jump back because now we have created our workday structure. So basically workday structure means that we have completed our business structure and the workday structure that is been linked. If I go up top once again, where we started our journey, so we discuss organization structure. So we have defined the workday structure that has been mapped, these two structure. Now this finance structure has been our next activity. So I will copy this one. Now here, if I go down and let's discuss this finance structure. So in our initial, this one, all information I need it there. So I would copy this one. So this we have discussed already this finance structure in our, and we discussed this finance structure, that how that we can build it up our finance structure. And to understand this financial structure, we need to have a financial statement. And we discussed four major financial statements. One is balance sheet, trial balance, cash management, and income statement. These statements we'll discuss in more detailed way in our upcoming session. And these statement is basically covered up these account type. So what is this account type? Any person who don't know these account types or have seen this first time in the finance section. So let me know if nobody knows, anyone who don't know it. I will then explain one by one. If you know it, then it would be great. We will move on. Anyone who don't know about this account type, asset, liabilities, capital, and expense and revenue. These are the 5 account types that we have it.
So can we quickly just give a discussion in 5 minutes, Matty? So that will be very helpful. So I heard it, but I just want to have a clear picture.
This is not for 5 minutes, but it is more than 15 or 20 minutes. Anyhow, I will highlight. So let's discuss this point. If you don't know, then we'll discuss this point in our finance structure. The first point, that is charts of accounts. Now, what is the charts of anyone who has idea about charts of account can explain to us or all of the participants who don't know what is charts of account. Another word is called COA, charts of account. Yes, who has a good idea or not have a good idea, but have a concept of charts. Nobody knows? Okay, you guys have heard it. Anyhow, no problem. Okay, charts of account is basically is the chart. Chart is basically as whenever you see a calendar. Calendar is also a chart where you have Jan, Feb, December, all the months are there. But here, this chart is related with accounts, and accounts that we have discussed, there are 5 type of accounts. And those accounts are assets, liabilities, capital, expense, revenue, expense. It means that a chart will show me all of these areas. Now, why we need to have charts? So in any organizations, first and foremost part for finance implementation, they must have charts of account details. Charts of account details basically prepare same way in the Excel sheet like I'm doing right now, but it is more detailed form. We will have it in a not very detailed, but we will try to cover it up all the areas. So point is, this has been maintained by any organization. Whenever you go and going to implement any organization, so you have to ask them, do you have a charts of account? If they say yes, we do have, that would be easier life. If they say that we don't have a charts of account, which is very rare, but if they say that we don't have a charts of account, then the first and foremost part that you need to define those charts of account. And those charts of account started from the top one. Okay, assets. What is assets? Question is, anyone? What is assets? No.
Assets, any loan related or
No,
any property
assets is okay. Assets, the 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 property or the wealth that you hold it, either it's your personal or the business, that's called assets. Assets are 2 types of assets. In any charts of account, majorly that has been defined in a broader way in a 2 types. One is called fixed assets and one is called
Variable.
current assets. Not variant, it is current assets. Now, how you can distinguish between fixed assets and current assets? Asset which is liquidated easily, an asset which has not been liquidated easily. If it is liquidated easily, that is called current asset, and if it is this liquidate will take time, that is your fixed assets. And fixed asset can be your plant, vehicle, building, furniture and fixtures. These are terms I'm using with respect of business. Okay, so these are my fixed assets. Okay, so any other example that you can give or anyone can give? What are other assets like plant, vehicle, building, furniture? Like I have laptop, servers. These are all my assets, and that basically liquidate not easily. Plus, are physically exist. Please mute yourself. If you're not speaking, please mute yourself. So these are all my assets. Current assets. Assets which liquidate easily are my current assets, and in that would be like cash, like bank, account receivables. So these are my liquidating assets. So these are majorly 2 types that we have it. And when we build up a charts of account, we have to identify those assets. And those assets should have identifiers. What is identifiers? In normal business practice, we never use these words. Sorry, we use these words, but not frequently. Rather, we use some codes against those values. So identifiers are just like an code that I want to assign Like I want to assign that whosoever the code started with 1, that would be my asset. So if I place it 1000 to 1000 start with 1 and then it ends at the, if I go to the next point here, 1999. So it means that the values in between that would be exist, that would be my asset. So plant is my asset, so I can give a code that is 1010, sorry, front asset at the top. So I would say that this is 1010 and 1020 that I want to give it to current assets. And the bank is there 10, account receivable is 1030. So this is what that is. Basically, I'm assigning an identifiers. It's called identifiers. Plant I want to give 1510, 1520, 1610, and 1730. Now, how I am defining this or assigning this number? Can anyone guess why I'm keeping or taking this gap and why I'm assigning this randomly number? Anyone?
Because the identifier actually we have mentioned from 1000 to 11999. So is that the reason?
But why
The
this kind of gap that we want having this? Here we have a 10 difference gap. Here we have 10, then we have 100, almost 90. Then we have 100 gap. Why is it so? I'm expecting these kind of questions from your side, but no problem. I'm asking by myself. But ask the question so that it would be easy for you to understand, not only for you, but rest of the team. Okay. So point is, this one is basically I'm keeping it gap because in future, if another plant, this is plant 1 that I'm giving, another plant 2 is coming up, then I can place in between plant 2 and that is 1511. So here 15 it belongs to my plants. Vehicle 1520. So that is 152120 range. That is another vehicle that is come up or I purchase it for my business. If I add up here directly, that is Volkswagen or 1521. Building, office building I did purchase. Now I purchase it another building for my distributor building. I started 1616. So this basically helped me to sync up in future that if some values or some assets are coming up there, then I can add up here. So here we have cash. So cash, I have two types of cash in my bucket now. Cash at home or cash at office, for example, then I can make it. I have multiple bank accounts. So this is bank account for Citibank, and now I have Standard Chartered. So I have 1021. So this is basically sync up. If I will not create a gap, so for example, this one is not there, and here I would place is 1021. And I have another bank account now. This is a Citibank account. Another bank account I need to open up, then that would be 1022. So when I will take a report and give a range that give me a value of my bank 1020 to 122, so system automatically take 1021, which is not the bank account. Basically, it is our account receivable. That's why a gap has been placed in between all of these values so that in future, whenever a value come up, then you can add up easily to cover up your reporting area. Okay, 1021. This is my standard chart. Okay. So
Are
this
these financial standards? I mean, how
yes,
did we identify
this
these codes? 1510 is
this
for plant.
these codes are my it's my
Is it?
own way to identify this one. I can place it here. Fixed asset A. It's A for assets. And when I will define the liabilities, then I will place it
It could be
2010.
combination of letters and numeric.
Yeah, it depends on your business requirement, organization that I have it. Normally, it can be 5 digits code or 6 digit code 151000. If our values are too high, or you can extend your number for your business requirements. So number and the code is your business own description. There is no standard, but
we have default Workday codes also, right?
we have
Default Workday also created the same kind of codes.
that would be. We will discuss in the workday when we jump into there.
Okay.
But to get the idea how if you have to build up the charts of account from scratch, you can do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So overall assets is combination from 1000 to 1999, and whereas if I current asset, if I talk about the fixed asset, that would be 1001 to 1. Sorry, mistakenly I have mentioned this one. I will take it down. So let me make it more organized way. Mistakenly I placed the fixed asset at the top. So this is my current assets. This is my fixed assets here. So that is 1001 to 1499. This is my current assets range. And whereas fixed asset range is 15002 to 1999. So this range is basically at the top. I have overall all the range. This is my fixed assets. Oh, sorry, overall assets. Then I have current assets. That is my second range, and third range is my fixed assets. Now, point is, if I want to take a report overall, so obviously I will take a range of 1999, 1999 that will cover at both sides. But if I want to take a report from current asset, I will take the range from there. And if I wanted to have a range for 10599, 100, 1500, and 999, that is my fixed asset. So this is my assets identifiers that we built it up. Any question? No? Okay. So we will start from 30 minutes. Then we will start our liability side. Okay.